This is Olaf's advanced guide from Patreon, and right now we're at the champ select section. Alright, then let's begin with bans. So for each side, we're gonna have 3 to 5 possible bans depending on elo. So like, allow me to explain real quick what I mean. These more low elo oriented champions, let's say Garen, Tryndamere, Trundle, are like a lot harder to beat when you start learning Olaf. And not only that, but they're often just picked in low elo anyway. So yeah, you might just face people that main them. Now in higher elos, these kind of changes a bit. Your biggest issues usually become like Akali, Kayle, Kindred. So we're looking at champions that like you lose your ultimate or just counter you in teamfights. These are like the worst matchups for Olaf itself, because Olaf is basically like a team fighter. He's not a duelist, he's not a 1v1 champion, he's a teamfight machine. You wanna win games, just be dominating teamfights. That's like your game. Alright, now, about Olaf bans, because this is pretty important as well. So when we are in blue team, enemies are usually gonna pick the worst ones. Like, we're just gonna fight the worst ones in high elo. We're gonna fight Akali, we're gonna fight Kayle, we're gonna fight basically the hard counters. They're just gonna pick the absolute worst ones that they can. So in low elo, I would say the worst one for us would be Garen. Why? Because Garen, it doesn't matter. First of all, it's hard to beat Garen in my opinion if you don't know your limits and stuff. I feel like it's so easy for Garen to beat us in low elo. So Garen, he's probably the best ban. I'm gonna put him here in bans. Okay. I know this says like bans here, but that doesn't matter. We ignore it, okay? So these are the bans. So for bans, we're basically looking at Garen or Trundle. So these two champions, I would say they have the biggest priority because people just can pick them pretty easily. Like they don't really care. They'll just pick them. Okay. So these two in low elo are the best. And now in high elo, I would say it's either Kayle. The thing is, Kayle top is like, people can play it, but not everyone plays it, right? So Kayle is not the absolute best. Now Akali is pretty bad, and she can also be picked mid lane. People can swap. So for low elo, actually let's separate them, okay? Let's do it like this. So for low elo, Garen and Trundle bans are good. And in high elo is like Kindred, Akali, and Kayle. Kindred, Akali, Kayle are the best bans in my opinion. Pretty much from out of these three, Kindred is probably the worst, followed by Kayle and then Akali. Akali is really not impossible to play. Like, she does counter you, don't get me wrong. But the thing with Akali, she doesn't scale as well as Kayle. And she doesn't counter as hard as Kindred in teamfights. So you can find a way to play around it. Just go Tiamat proxy, and then if you can do that, it's not easy to do it, by the way. It's not easy to get in the proxy position. But if you can do that and you neutralize the lane, you will win teamfights. So the fact that we win teamfights, hey, that's pretty nice. Okay, now, so to understand exactly what counters Olaf, so how I decide if a champion counters Olaf or not. Okay, so the way I decide is 3 factors. The first factor is the damage factor. Okay, this is the thing that you usually care most about. Can they kill me? So when we are looking at Akali, for example, she literally has the damage to kill you from 100% HP every time, even if she's underfed. So Akali, because of how much damage she has and because of the fact that you cannot attack her, so I would say this is the second thing. Most people would say the fact that you lose your ultimate is the worst. I would argue the fact that she kites you and one-shots you so hard is the worst thing. The same goes with Kayle, for example. Kayle has absolutely insane damage after 2 items. You can never tank her, so you'll get popped in teamfights. Now, not only that, but she also just has that ultimate that when she uses on a teammate, you cannot get healing from them anymore. So this is the main 3 things. Can they one-shot me? yes, then it's probably bad. Can they one-shot me, but can they also make me lose my ult? Then it's like even worse. Can they one-shot me, make me lose my ult, and also have some invincibility? Then those are the worst in the game. So Kindred and Kayle, objectively speaking, they're the worst matchups. Now, these two champions, I know that Kayle is played a bit in low elo, but I think Kindred and Akali, they aren't so played, especially like Kindred jungle and Akali top. I don't think people really play them in low elo, but objectively speaking, these three champions are the worst for Olaf in the game, and when they are in any role. Kayle can be mid or top. So Kayle, objectively speaking, like I said, again, for the third time, is the worst one. So you could ban her if you just can't or like if you see her very often, honestly. I think is the more important thing. But yeah, in lower elo, for example, like I said, is like Garen is for example really really bad. So like Garen, you see him, he could be played mid. That's pretty rare. If you see him, it's you probably don't want to pick Olaf because when he goes Shojin plus Axiom Arcanis plus with his ult, he kind of executes you from half HP. That's the biggest issue with Garen itself. Like, Garen doesn't beat you in lane ever. Like Olaf is actually stronger in lane than Garen. That's why he's not like a main priority when we are looking at champions that that counter you. Like I said, if for example we are looking at Tryndamere has way too much damage for Olaf to handle. Like Tryndamere will one shot you until like 2 items, I would say. But the thing is, Tryndamere doesn't teamfight. Like Tryndamere, he beats you 1v1, yes, but if you can survive the matchup, you get around in omens, and then you can ignore him. You can even win the 1v1 on the sideline. So like champions that are fundamentally bad, even if they counter you a bit, they have like big weaknesses. Like Kayle as a champion, she's fundamentally broken. Like the thing that she has in her kit allows her to be not that weak early. I mean, like she's not like Nasus, for example. Nasus is, let's say, he's like fundamentally a bad champion. But with Kayle, I feel like you can survive so many laning phases. You can rush swiftness, like swiftness boots, and then with W, you get like over 450 move speed. So there is no way of Olaf catching you ever. There are like many reasons, but like I said, I'm looking at the damage factor. Same goes in jungle, for example. If we're looking at Evelynn or Udyr, these champions just pop you. They have too much single target damage. If we're looking at mid, we see like an Aurora. Aurora just pops you, bro. Like it is what it is. Action as well, like a fed action pops Olaf. From ADC, we're looking at Vayne, at Xayah. If we're looking at a fed Lucian, these champions pop you. There is not much you can do. A fed Jhin, same. He pops you, he executes you. And from support, we are looking at only like champions that fight you or something, like Zilean, Taric. Taric has the ultimate, which is absolutely horrible for you. It makes him invincible. Renata can revive people. So yeah, I would say these are like the absolute worst to like have in an enemy team. You see these champions? They naturally just counter you. So yeah. And before we go to the scenarios, I'm gonna show you the best champions as well. So when you see these in your team, I'm gonna like mention them in the scenario as well. But if you see like Lulu, Renata, like where is Lulu? When we see like Lulu, when you see Renata in our team, when we see like a jungle that is, or when we see a mid laner that is like an Orianna, for example, that supports us, a Galio, these champions that have value for us. So this is what we are looking. We are looking at champions that give all our value in move speed, tankiness, damage, anything. But if we have like a mid laner like a Katarina, she doesn't really bring any value. So with these comps, we kind of don't wanna pick Olaf. You understand what I mean? You want people to play around you when you play Olaf, not the other way around. You don't want to play around your teammates and like tank damage for them and let them be the damage dealers. Okay? Yeah. Now we go to the scenarios. I'm gonna create like multiple scenarios here, but first let's have this scenario. Okay, we are on blue team. So blue team means we are gonna have to first pick. enemy team is usually gonna last pick if we are in blue team. So we're gonna pick like fourth, basically. Either if you pick here or here, it's like the same thing, okay? So if our team comp would look something like, let me put some jungler. Let's say we have a Jarvan in our team. So Jarvan, this is already gone from enemy team. We have an ADC like, let's say Senna, which is like a more supportive champion. We have a Lulu support. And then we have a mid laner that is AP. So we don't have like a full AD comp. We have something like what's a heavy AP champion? Let me see. We have something like an Orianna, so another supportive champion, okay? This already, like let's say, can I take Olaf out of here? Okay, I can't. Is this side, bro? Oh wait, I can. Okay. So already in this comp we have basically 4 supports for us. This is like, it doesn't matter in enemy team if they pick like counters. So counters for Olaf, just to understand, like from other roles, are champions with heavy damage. Let's say an Aurora. An Aurora has insane burst time. It's absolutely insane. So let's say Corki from ADC. Corki has probably the highest flat damage. Then support, let's say it's a Brand. Aurora, Brand, Corki. And then jungle, it's an Evelyn. And then you have to first pick top, okay? So already in this comp, okay, let's say not Evelyn, because then it's like too much EP. Let's say like something AD that is like really strong into us. Let's say a Wukong. Wukong can remove your armor and stuff, has good burst. So into this comp already, this comp normally, if you wouldn't have this many supports in your team, you couldn't pick it in this, because how you need to think with Olaf is, am I going to die, okay? In a team fight, if I go in, I Q, Ghost, R, and run into them, will I die? And if the answer is yes, then it's not an Olaf angle. If the answer is yes, but I have to be insanely fed, then it's still not worth to pick Olaf. Like, you need to be in a comp where if you are fed, it's guaranteed that we win the game. So fed equals we win, not fed equals we can still play. In this comp, if we are not fed, normally we couldn't play. But because we have a team that is good for us, so we have supports. Jarvan gives us the flag, is a frontliner to tank. Orianna has armor and MR on her ball, and her ultimate pulls everyone. Senna gives us move speed. Lulu has a shield and a knock-up and attack speed. So everything here, this would be like Olaf's dream team, sort of. But now, let's say our team comp wouldn't look like this. Let's say we would have a support that is like Pantheon. Let's say Pantheon support with Caitlyn ADC. And then jungle, we would have a Kayn. Then mid lane, we would have Katarina. Okay? This comp is already like, this is already so much worse to pick Olaf here. Like right now, we're looking at basically playing like tank Olaf because we'd have no front line and we simply get popped by these 4 champs. So yeah, this wouldn't be so good because we also have to first pick. So let's say we pick Olaf and then we face like an Trundle. Trundle is gonna ult us. So let me. By the way, you can find Olaf here. Like, where is he? The jungle? No way. Yeah, Olaf is a jungle for some reason. Anyway, yeah. So let's say we pick Olaf here. Then top lane they go Garen or Trundle. We'll go in team fights. These people will one-shot us anyway, and then we get Garen ulted. So this is not so worth it anymore. So what I'm trying to say is, in a champ select, try to ask for picks that are supportive. So the supportive picks for you, like the best picks that you could have in your team, are basically champions that usually give you move speed, attack speed, or some sort of like tankiness. So that would be from supports Renata. Renata makes you basically, you can die and then you revive. Lulu has a knock-up. Karma has a shield and move speed. What else? There is one more that I have in mind. Tam Kench. This is really good with Olaf. Ziren is decent, but he only gives you move speeds. He doesn't give any combat stats. He does revive you, so he's sort of good. But if you see these three champs, Yumi included, is decent. Soraka is decent. Taric. I would avoid picking Olaf with Yana, for example, because Yana, when she ults, she basically stands still. So you have to turn and get healing from her. And her shield is like decent, but it will get popped instantly because you're gonna run in everyone. It's decent, but not the absolute best. Bard as well. He can ult people and you might lose your ult or something. It's a bit risky. So I'd say these three champions are the best if you can find them on support. You can ask for them. Getting these, it doesn't really matter like how much damage they have. Like, it removes that part where if the enemies have too much damage, you're just going to instantly get popped. Okay. Now, let's remove this. And let's say you have a bad comp. So you remember like what you saw earlier, but you have a good matchup top. Instantly we can pick Olaf. So a good matchup would be Mordekaiser, for example. If you see Mordekaiser first pick and you are pretty sure he picks third, let's say, and we know pretty sure that he's top lane, Vayne would be the absolute worst. Like into Vayne, I wouldn't pick. So in this scenario, let's say we see Vayne with Lulu. Where is it? Where is it? Like the Lulu? Okay. So let's say they have a Lulu plus Vayne with Mordekaiser. This wouldn't be the absolute perfect angle for us to pick Olaf, because even if we are fed, Vayne kind of just shits on Olaf by default. But I'm going to explain. If you do Storm lane, you can find ways to play around. You could just kill the Lulu, then kill everyone else, and let your team kill the Vayne. Oftentimes, this doesn't really work, but if you're fed enough, you can tank Vayne for a bit with a lifesteal build, or just if you have enough damage to burst their team, because Vayne, if given enough time, she will always kill Olaf. It doesn't matter. She can be ahead, behind, it doesn't matter. Always has the damage to kill Olaf. Only like just to understand like the mentality when I'm looking at enemy champions, if they have a lot of single target damage, it's usually a bad Olaf angle. Like if there are champs that are good at killing one guy. So in jungle, for example, it would be like Evelyn and Udyr. You see Evelyn and Udyr, they can both one-shot one guy and then get out, basically. That's what Olaf hates the most. Trundle as well, but like I said, Trundle is not really like good in high elo. In low elo, like he can function, but I wouldn't really pick him off on myself, like if I play jungle or something. So yeah, and he does have a pretty low play rate. But yeah, you get what I mean. So if you see a lot of single target damage, then it's like you don't really want to pick Olaf. You can, but you might get popped. That's what I'm saying. Like if they get fed, you won't win. So, like I said, let's go back to this scenario. And like I said, you can pick Olaf if you're really confident in the matchup. If not, maybe look at picking something else. Maybe instead of Olaf, we pick what's a similar champion to Olaf that would be better here. Let's say we pick let's say we do Gwen. So Gwen is similar to Olaf, sort of, and is a bit better into Vayne. Not a lot better, but a bit better. Yeah, you can still beat more pretty badly with Gwen. Alright now. For the next scenario, let's say just a free comp. So let's say it's a support that is like Leona with Misfortune and then Mordekaiser. In this comp, it doesn't matter what we have in our team. Irrelevant, we're only looking at the enemies. These three, they're absolutely irrelevant into us. So they can pick like a mid laner like let me think. They can pick like let's say Zed has a lot of like single target damage, or what else? Okay, I'm gonna use like Aurora for the damage. Okay, so let's say they pick an Aurora, and then as a jungler they pick some assassin. They pick Mastery. Mastery is a really bad one because he has so much single target damage, so much true damage. It's really worth to play Olaf into this comp because you can ignore Mastery and Aurora for a bit. They do good damage too, but the MF, Mordekaiser and Leona, they don't do damage to almost at all. So you can kill them as Fortune, get your Death Dance reset, because that's what we think. Can we get our Death Dance reset? yes, it means the comp is good for Olaf. For red side, I'm gonna keep it short with when you wanna pick Olaf because it's basically the same rules. The only difference is we can actually see our laner picking plus enemy comp, so it's much easier for us to choose. And what I mean by that is when you see these like first picks that they're pretty free lanes for us. We see a Gragas, we see like a Cho'Gath, we see like an Ambessa, we see like a Mordekaiser, Nasus. Like we see these champions. It's pretty much our lane is pretty free. We are probably gonna win it. You shouldn't assume instantly that you are gonna win your lane, by the way. But these lanes, if you play it right, you win it 80 to 90% of time. I'm not even joking. Like Olaf is a pretty strong laner. So he can bully these people. Right? And it's like the same thing. You just respect if you have a free matchup top, but then you get countered on everything else, it's like the worst possible champions on everything else. You might want to refrain from picking Olaf. So in a comp like this, it's what I said earlier, basically. If your top lane matchup is free, but then everyone else counters you, only way you can win is if you absolutely stomp top lane, like to the point where there are 3 or 4 levels over everyone and you can just one-shot people. Right. So for the red side, like I said, it's the same rules that you want to respect from earlier, but you can actually see everyone. And Olaf is much better on red side. So if you see that you are red side, you can already think about picking Olaf. You can ask for a Lulu, for a Renata. You can tell them, oh, I'm red side. We can just play Olaf Lulu and I can carry. Because that's how my champ works. Or something like that. Okay, and now one more thing. I want you to understand like jungle top synergy. Okay, so how we choose our game plan, basically how we decide our game plan based on top jungle, because that's how we are gonna do it. Okay, if they have a top jungle that looks like this, Keisante and Maokai, so these two champions, when we look at it, we can also like, fuck, I don't know exactly how to use this app, by the way. Like, okay, so we ignore everyone else right now. All right, we see Keisante and Maokai. These two champions, we counter both of them. But if we are level 6, okay? If you are gonna get level 3 ganked, Keisante is gonna Q you, you're gonna get slowed. He's gonna stun you with W. Maokai is gonna stun you with W again. Keisante by that time is gonna get his third Q. Maokai is gonna push you back, and then Keisante is gonna Q you back. If they are good at the game, they're gonna combo you like that, right? So in this comp, I want you to... Like, I would go teleport plus ghost if they don't have like a Jarvan. So because it's like Jarvan can be played jungle top, they're probably not gonna go Jarvan support. It's too rare. So in these comps where you wanna play for level 6, I would prefer you playing Teleport Ghost. Teleport Ghost, or like Ghost Teleport, whatever order you like, can also be used into comps that gank you a lot, or like top jungle. I mean, not comps, my bad. So into like top jungle that will camp you every game. We see Renekton Elise. It's so easy to get tower dive. You can get literally tower dive from 100% HP, and it's not even your fault. Like, but that's the thing. Like, the game is not over. These two, they don't scale. Once you reach level 6, it's not so bad anymore because you don't get stunned. And if you have the slightest lead, you are going to run down the Renekton and Elise. Like, that's just it. Like, you are gonna tank their damage and you're just gonna one-shot them. Now into comms where you need the speed, so you actually need the move speed to like run them down and stuff because they have move speed themselves. Let's say it's an Aatrox, and then jungle is just a normal jungler. Like, let me think, what's the most normal jungler? Let's say it's a Diana, okay? So Diana can full clear, she can sometimes gank. Into this comp, it's better to just go Ghost Flash by default. So the default matchups is like you go Ghost Flash, but like these very volatile matchups, I would go Teleport Ghost. Another example would be Akali. Like into Akali, you win by team fighting, right? So because we win by team fighting, she's banned, but okay, nice. So against Akali, you win by team fighting against her, right? Because it's hard to lane against her, we are gonna go Teleport Ghost again. Yeah, Teleport Ghost, my bad. Now, into champions that we wanna feast fight usually, I would suggest you wanna take Ignite or Exhaust. So if the jungler is not something like Elise or Nidalee, whatever, champions that like perma gank and perma tower dive, we can easily go Ignite or Exhaust. So let's say into a Kled, we need Ignite or Exhaust to actually kill him. Into a Fiora, it's the same. We need Ignite or Exhaust to generally like 1v1 her. Same goes with Jax, same goes with Illaoi. Even Irelia sometimes. Irelia is not a big deal, but you get the idea. Into Riven, into Wukong maybe. Yeah, into Tryndamere maybe. You see what I mean? Like these champions that you can't really avoid fighting them. You wanna go Ignite or Exhaust, right? You can go Ignite or Exhaust with Flash or Ghost. It's so much better. And yeah, that's about it for the champ select guide. I hope I didn't miss anything, and I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, don't forget to check the Patreon for more guides for my skin and everything else. And of course, if you want to support me as well. And yeah, take care, everyone.